Shalom and good day, my brothers and sisters, coming back unto you with an interesting article. And this article deals with history, which will give us, which shall provide you proof to share with your family, friends, and strangers. And basically, it's just going to back up the Bible. Okay. And the Bible I'm talking about is dealing with the King James 6 to 11. So, what you see before you are some historical artifacts, and on that picture, you also see some silver coins. Now, some of you may know about a discovery with some silver coins that will give you confirmation or proof that the Apocrypha is divinely written by the Most High servants. Okay. And one of the books in the Apocrypha will confirm the book of the Maccabees. Now, those who are well studied, we know that there are other books that does confirm the book of the Maccabees, such as the work of Josephus. Um, Also, there was a historical book that I shared with y'all in regard to Pentecost. They also use the book of Maccabees for some historical references as well. So there are other either divided written books or historical books that does reference to the book of Maccabees when it's dealing with certain historical events, especially dealing with the Greeks, um, and the Romans as well. Okay, during the time of the Greeks and the Romans, and it also aligned to the prophet's writing. One of the prophets I come that that comes to my mind is the prophet Daniel, because we know from the time of the Greeks that which transitioned to the Romans is still in the current today present time. So definitely, my brothers and sisters, go back and read the prophet's writings, because many of the biblical prophecy has not come true to their fullness. They have not come in their fullness yet, but we are waiting to see those things to happen right before our eyes. All right, let's get right to the point. Let's get this out of the way, because I'll probably be sharing some copyright materials with you. So this article that I'm going to share with you today, the title of today's word or teaching or sharing, because it's a little bit of all three, okay, is, I don't know why this is not cooperating, brothers and sisters, but let me see what I can do. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, archaeology proof of the book of Maccabees in the Apocrypha. Okay, now that we have that out the way, um, let's go right straight to it. I think either a couple of days back or a week or so ago, bro, my sister, I ran across this article that is found in the Times of Israel. And the title of this article is 2200-year-old corn hoard gives hard proof of Book of Maccabees, say archaeologists. Okay. So I thought we'd go through this article and read it together, and we're going to interlink it with the King James 611 Bible. And those who have a copy of the 1611, what I love about this Bible, y'all, it has some Hebraic terms. It also has some side notes. It also gives you the precepts, okay? And most importantly, it gives you references to other books, such as the work of Josephus. Yes. So everything's lining up. So let's get right into it. Let's read the subtitle here. It says here, hopefully my cursor will cooperate with me today. Trove of silver coins, 2 months average salary. Wow. Document bloody persecution preceding the famous Hanukkah revolt when Jews fled to the desert, as written in First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29. So before we get right into the article, let's go to First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29 and read that to set the foundation. Because some of my brothers and sisters may not have a copy of the 1611 nor a copy of the Apocrypha. And you notice here that in the subtitle, they said the famous Hanukkah revolt. Okay. So how can I say this? In other words, when you read First and Second Maccabees yourself, you will learn that there were several things that had to take place in order for them to have Hanukkah. Okay, it was not like an ongoing thing of Hanukkah, but several events had to take place that led to Hanukkah or to the feast of dedication in the days of the Maccabees. Which brings us to this: you to understand why the Maccabees kept Hanukkah or the feast of dedication, you have to go back to the past than what was. So there's a video on the channel that goes more in depth, and it will explain to you when was the first Hanukkah, or when was the first feast of dedication occur. So then you can understand why the Maccabees also kept Hanukkah. Okay, when they was able to reclaim the house of Yah, or the tabernacle or temple of Yah, back from the Greeks. Okay. So let us first open up with First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29. Let me refresh my page. It's going to take a little while. Bear with my brothers and sisters. You know how it is. It's that the page is not responding. We're going to wait because, well, while we wait, I still read it. So y'all know how I work, y'all. I keep going no matter what. So in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, let this be so. Okay, and the link of that chapter will be in the video description box for those who want to follow along. So we're going to First Maccabees, chapter 2, looking at verse 29. Okay, there it go. Give it a while. I always have my back up here. So First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 29, and it says this: and after 2 years fully expired, so after 2 years passed, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Judah with a great multitude. Let me make sure that's right. And I'm looking at it. I'm in I'm looking at it. I read the wrong chapter, y'all. That was chapter 1. Okay, Maccabees, First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 29. And it says this. I think I need to read a verse higher. Okay, let's start at verse 27. And Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant. Y'all, do y'all hear that word? Covenant, the marriage, right? Let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Do y'all see what they sacrificed, y'all? For the covenant. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there. All right. That's Second Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29. I read verse 27, 28, and 29. Okay. 27, 28, 29. All right. Let's get to it. Here's that beautiful picture that was shared with y'all. And right here it says that the group examined a 22-year-old wooden box. Oh, well, I tell you what, my tongue getting twisted. I'm just going to pause it. Let me see about bringing the size of it down so you can see the subtitles as it pause. Okay. Okay. Now let us proceed. We will bring it back to 100%. And let us scroll down. Archaeologists have uncovered a cache of 2,200-year-old silver coins near the Dead Sea, which they say is the first physical proof that Jews fled to the Judean desert during the upheaval and persecution under Hanukkah, revealing Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes. Now, Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes, my brothers and sisters, was one of the Greek kings, and he is prophesied by the prophet Daniel. When you start reading, I would say Daniel chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, and then you can jump over to Daniel 11. Daniel 11, okay? Let us keep reading. As told in 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29, in the period prior to the Maccabean revolt, righteous men was exhorted to leave everything and flee to the desert. That's what we just read. At that time, many who sought righteousness and judgment and justice went to live in the desert. Subsequently, while upholding the laws of Shabbat, okay, that's the Sabbath, they were slaughtered by the king's forces. Okay. During the rescue excavation in May, a small, incredibly preserved wooden box holding 15 silver tetradrama coins was discovered in a cave in the Dalagi Stream Natural Reserve. The coins were minted by Ptolemy VI, king of Egypt, and date to up to 170 BCE, which is just before Seleucid king Antiochus IV Epiphanes began handing down harsh measures against Jews' freedom of worship. Okay, so the coins they found was minted by Ptolemy VI, the king of Egypt, and that coin was dated up to 170 BCE. Very important for those who are keeping up with YAHUWAH timeline. When you're trying to align the heathen dates along with our Father's date in heaven, okay? And notice here some key words that Antiochus IV Epiphanes was handing down harsh measures to keep the Jews or the Yahudim freedom of worship. Now, this is going to confirm what the work of Josephus had told us, what the Feast of Light means, what the Feast of Dedication was all about, or what Hanukkah was all about during the time of the Maccabees. It was about freedom of worship. Do not fall for the Jewish favor of lighting a menorah. That anyway, when you watch that video again, my brothers and sisters, when was the first Hanukkah or Feast of Dedication? You will get the inner detail of what took place in dedication. Do not be deceived by Jewish fables. Let us keep going. Oh, also forgive me if I mispronounce any words. I will try to do my best. And if I can't say a word, I will just do the abbreviation of that word. Okay. So according to Etan Kling of the Israel authorities, of the Israel and antiquities authorities, which announced to find on Tuesday the whore was stashed by a fleeing Jew. They're talking about the coins now. It was stashed by a fleeing Jew who presumably subsequently died in the violence leading up to the Maccabean revolt. Here we have good proof that people really were fleeing, said Kling, forgive my tongue, y'all, Deputy Director of the IAA Theft Prevention Unit, just like it was written 2,000 years ago in the Apocrypha book. Again, I'm just paused for a silence for those who speaks against the Apocrypha, the naysayers. As we see, Yahuwah will always bring out the truth, and he will have the truth to align with the Bible, such as history. That's one of the witnesses, besides the heaven and earth that the Father used. Okay. In general, when we find a cache of coins, they tell us a story of war. Otherwise, people Don't run off and leave their life savings, said King. In today's term, the coins are worth about 2 months' salary at an average wage, he noted. You don't just go off and leave NIS 50,000 in a cave. Do y'all hear that? So those coins value is worth about 2 months' salary for us. Okay. And they do have a video you can watch on YouTube about this too. So I will post a link of this article in the video description box. Since 2017, the IAA has spearheaded an, an ambitious survey of some 500 caves in the Judea desert. So listen up. We're going to get some more details where they found this in the land of Israel. Okay. So they found this. No, they were saying they would start doing a lot of archaeology searches. Okay. And there's about 500 caves in the Judean desert, in part to look for more Dead Sea Scrolls, in part to beat antiquities looters to priceless archaeological artifacts. The pristine wooden box was discovered in one of the four MKs, where some 70 years after the first scientific excavation took place in the 100-meter cave near the Dead Sea. So that's key words. So these caves are near the Dead Sea. We know it's in we know that it's in the Judean desert. Exciting new objects are still coming to light, including glimpses of scroll fragments and amazing preserved textiles. The operation is being undertaken by the IAA in cooperation with the staff officer of the Archaeology Department of Civil Administration in Judea and Samaria, and has been funded in part by the Ministry of Jerusalem Affairs and Heritage. The survey and excavation project carried out by Israel Antiquities Authority in the Judean desert over the past 6 years have proved itself, in that thousands of archaeological artifacts have been saved from destruction and plundering, including parts of biblical scrolls, arrowheads from the Bar Kochba revolt, a 10,000-year-old basket, and more, said Amir Glenar, IAA director of the excavation. Now I'm going to pause here. When I see this word, or one of the things they found arrowheads from the Bar Ko, make sure I pronounce this word correctly, Kochba revolt. Now we're going to pause here. Why this is so interesting. On the channel, we talk about the two Jerusalem, and it goes into, as a playlist, it goes into a Roman city that was built before modern day Jerusalem came to pass. So when you do a Wikipedia of the Kochba revolt, forgive my tongue, you're going to find in this paragraph right here, and I'm going to start right here, reading here. In the days of this revolt, which was about 132 AD, in the time of a Roman emperor called Hadrian, okay, right here, and you're just going to see why this is so important. Because even in archaeology, they have found artifacts of this that was built by him in the modern day Jerusalem, okay. The proximate reason seems to be the construction of a new city called Ytyyah Capitolia, okay, over the ruins of Jerusalem, and the erection of a temple to Jupiter on Temple Mount. Now they have found this temple to Jupiter under Temple Mount, and on the channel it is discussed. And this is very important to know because it's going to align with Daniel's chapter 11. Okay. Well, no, let me take that back. It's going to give you understanding unto the Romans who Jupiter was unto them. Unto the Romans, he's called Jupiter. You can find it in the book of Acts. Unto the Greeks, he's called Zeus. And when you do for the study, it is Baal, Satan. Not too far from the temple of Jupiter that is under Temple Mount, modern day Temple Mount that you see in Jerusalem. Under the Holy Sepulchre Church is the temple to Aphrodite, known as the temple to Venus. And when you read the prophet Isaiah, you will learn that Venus is the day star that he talks about. And Venus will go back to Ashtaroth. So we have Baal and Ashtaroth, Judges chapter 2. Chapter 2. Do you see how all this interlinked? But anyway, let us keep reading. This is why this is so interesting to me. The church fathers and rabbinic literature emphasize the role of Rufus, governor of Judea, in the provoking the revolt. So take some time, do some studies on that. But then you can see what the father is saying, how the heathens have built their defiled, profane cities in his holy land, within, in his holy land. Okay. hmm Just want to share that with you. Now let's pick up where we left. So now we're going to get the explanation of this picture here. It says the newly discovered round wooden box looks almost fresh. Let me take this off so you can see this better. From the ancient lath that would have made it. Inside was the 15 silver coins, as well as a piece of purple dyed cloth and some wool stuffing. The dry desert climate, combined with the cave's protected atmosphere, preserved these organic materials in excellent condition. The IAA, Naima S., director of the Laboratory of Organic Material, told the Times of Israel. So now you get an explanation of the contents that they found, the silver coins, the wooden box. Look at that. Oh, the wool and the purple dyed cloth. Okay. It said that her team is still in the preliminary stages of research and she does not yet know what type of wood went into creating the beautiful tubular box. She likewise is waiting to see what kind of dye was used on the purple cloth, from common plants or luxurious royal snail based dye. There are few parallel artifacts to the wooden box, he said, but there is no doubt that the find is very unique, mainly because of the whole complex tale it tells us, with the burial of a safe 2200-year-old, said S. The dating of the coins themselves could serve to anchor the artifacts to the moving description in First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 29, in which the eventual Maccabean revolt founder Mattathias cries out for righteous men to lead the lives of persecution and live in the desert, or eremos, a Greek term for a place desolate of people or animals. Now, you want to underline that because this is going to give you the understanding about the biblical prophecy of Jerusalem and what condition it should be, along to what the Messiah told about Jerusalem. Okay, so now you get an understanding what desolate means. Desolation, such as what the prophet Joel talked about, what the prophet Ezekiel or Isaiah talks about. It's going to be what? Empty or void of people or animals. Okay? You want to highlight that. Incidentally, in Second Maccabees, we find the earliest Greek text to use the word Judaism according to the scholar MZS. Okay? Here's what the silver coins look like. Made by who? King Ptolemy the Sixth. Okay, let's read this paragraph. The silver tetradrachmas, forgive my tongue, were minted by Ptolemy the Sixth, king of Egypt, who reigned contemporaneously with his uncle Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes, often called the wicked. Now we're going to expound on that, and that is very true. He is wicked, wicked, who ruled over the Seljuk kingdom between 270 BCE and 168 BCE. The Seljuks and the Ptolemies fought the six Syrian wars. After the fourth war, the territory of Judea was conquered by Antiochus III. Antiochus III is the great, if I remember correctly, it is the grandfather or he's the father of Antiochus IV Epiphanes, but do a history check on that. In the Battle of Panion in 200 BCE, according to the IAA, the three earliest coins in the trove was minted in 176/5 BCE. The latest coin dated to 171/0 BCE. Curious, the name Shalmai was inscribed, no, was incised in Aramaic script on one of the coins. Okay, let's pause here because I want to expound on how the living word confirms what this article is saying, why Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes was called wicked. Let me see, can I get this thing to act right? Yep, this is what we want. I'm in First Maccabees, the first chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 7. So Anazana reigned 12 years and then died. So that's Anazana the Great. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth. The Greeks were wicked, y'all. Okay, let's keep going. And there came out of them a wicked root. Now, this is going to align with Daniel's, I think it's chapter 8, okay, or chapter 7. Okay, so there came out of them a wicked root. Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king. And I think that's Antiochus the third, okay? Yeah, that was his father, who been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes was a hostage at Rome, but he began his reign in the 137th year in the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay. Notice here it said that he is a he was wicked too. Okay. So now we see how the word is lining up with history. Don't you just love confirmation and the proof? So the naysayers can say all they want. We got more proof than them. It is impossible to know where the person fled from somewhere in Judah, maybe Jerusalem or Jerusalem. Every time there was a war or a traumatic event, people fled to the desert and hid in caves, which were the safe rooms. They leave their homes and take only the important items King told the times of Israel. The MKs were used for millennia as a refuge. Located in ND, the closest Jewish settlement during the Maccabean era would have been a walk of a day or two away, said King. So we get some more information about where these caves are located. At that time, the caves were very difficult to reach, which also shows the individual desperation, says Klein. Today we can take a sorry y'all. Today we can take a Jeep. In that period, There was a path to the Dead Sea, but it was flanked by many unfriendly tribes, and it was dangerous to walk in the middle of the desert. Notice how they use the word tribes here. Again, we all have a nation or a tribe we come from. Okay? Just want to bring that out. Okay? So they're going to show you a picture about these caves right here. Let us read the next paragraph. But the presumed Hasmonean supporters were not the only rebels to have used these caves. In the early 1950s, the French priest archaeologist Roland de Vaux discovered a cache of letters in a cave, one of which was penned by 132, 136 CE, the Bar Kochba revolt leader Simon ben Kosiba himself. Kling said that regardless of previous expectations, the case still offered a huge potential for more excavations, and work there will be ongoing. We are checking to see if there are new things to uncover and finding a lot, he said. We have a lot more cases to check out, but are concentrating our effort on those places that have the most potential. And by potential, Klein is not referring only to artifacts themselves, but rather to the ability to perform well documented scientific excavation. As he noted, these are not only silver, these are not the only silver trimerdimas minted by Ptolemy VI that can be found in Israel today. We found in the antiquities market coins of that period from looters, but now for the first time in Atlanta, Israel, we find a trove in this scientific excavation, and therefore the coins can tell us a story, says Clean. So they're going to display these coins in the Hasmonean Museum in Modin. Okay, and it is basically right during the time of Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication, which takes place between the 9th and the 10th month. Ain't this amazing? So this is something to add to your history collections, my brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoy this word, this share. Okay, and as you can see, what they found validate what was written, what was divinely written by the prophets, the scribes. Okay, like I said, well, like I had, shared with y'all before, our Father in heaven speak through many things, confirming unto us that his living word, or the Bible, as well as other sacred books, are true, they are real, and they are divinely written. It's up to you to believe. Okay? Remember, we have free will. So this is a great thing to what's the word? Celebrate about during the time of Hanukkah. Okay? Our Father always give us witnesses. We have a witness in the heaven, witness in the earth, and now we see we have many evidence and proofs in history as well as in numbers, letters, the Hebraic letters, words, Hebraic words. Do y'all see? Everything is connected. All praises to Yah for this great discovery. All right, my brothers and sisters, take some time, check out that article, add it to your historical collection. Also, take out some time to check out the word that was given on Satan's kingdom in this earth and celebrities. Definitely want to check that out as well, because you're going to see how everything is connected, even during this time of us keeping the Most High um, Feast of Dedication, known as Hanukkah. All right, my brothers and sisters, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand, and make sure the people, continue the water baptism, the Holy Spirit baptism. Okay, as our blessed Messiah did, he set that example. He is the second Adam. Follow the instructions of Romans 10. Love you all, and shalom.